It was Monday morning, chapter 6, nervous, and Gohan had waken up to prepare for his meeting at work. You know, that's the problem I've always had with Gohan saying, one day I'll be a great scholar, or telling people how he wanted to be a scholar of this, a scholar of that. Scholar of what? Of everything? And what kind of jobs would be available here? I mean, Castle Court seems like a very big place. That seems like the most notable scientific jobs to get there, and it seems like it's the only scientific place in there. But then again, I repeat, as I said before, thinking too hard about this leads to fix like this. After turning off his alarm, he proceeded with his usual morning routine of breakfast, followed by a shower, brushing his teeth, getting dressed for work. The entire time he was getting ready, he was also rehearsing in his head what he wanted to say in his presentation. He kept going over and over his speech, making last-minute corrections. Finally, he told himself there was nothing more he could do and just trust his instincts. As he prepared to leave, he quickly checked on his wife and daughter, giving them both a light kiss so as not to disturb their sleep. Before hanging out the door, he checked himself in the mirror one last time. Here we go. He took a deep breath and went off to work. One of the biggest days in Gohan's life had begun. Fidel woke up about an hour after Gohan had left and immediately headed for the bathroom. Ugh! He vomited. As he flushed the toilets, he started to think a doctor's visit was in order. So he had been sick the past few days, and whilst he didn't have a fever, so he still wanted to know what was going on. You know, just once, on one of these stories, when a person has morning sickness, I want to discover that their morning sickness is just a bad stomach bug. I mean, it's bound to have happened at least a couple of times in real life. After getting back to her bed, she picked up the phone and nightstand and called to the doctor's office instead of an appointment for later that day. She's pregnant. One of those arrangements were made. She called over the bitch to ask her if she could accompany her to the doctor's while Goten watched Pan. Of course, Chi-Chi replied, feeling concerned. In the meantime, why don't you get more rest? I think I'll do that. Thanks, bitch. Fidel was able to sleep in around noon time when Chi-Chi arrived to take her to the doctor's. Will you be back soon, Panchan? Fidel says he got into the flying car with her mother-in-law. Get back, Mommy. Pan waved back with Goten by her side. As she left, Fidel admitted to herself she was a little bit nervous. So this felt different. While she was sure it was probably just a common stomach bug, it had been going around. She couldn't shake the feeling it was something bigger, something more serious. Oh, for Pete's sake. Come on, Fidel! You should be able to see this cliche coming a mile away! Everybody else here could! I don't even need to narrate the next part! She is pregnant! She has the morning sickness! She is pregnant! Every single story does this! The character has morning sickness, they are pregnant! It's instantaneous! Gohan slowly closed his office door until he heard the click that let him know it was completely shut. He took a deep breath in and out. The click could make him finally relax. He just got out of a business meeting where he presented on a project he'd been spearheading for the past several months. The amount of questions he received was certainly unexpected, but he made sure to spend time answering every single last one. Now it was over, and he was happy to be back in his office, his sanctuary. What he needed was just a few moments to sit back and gather his thoughts. It's finally over with, he told himself as he made his way to his chair and looked out the window at the bustling city below. He proceeded to close his eyes and let his other senses take in the world around him. This was his go-to meditation practice after any big meeting and presentation and helped greatly decompress. A few minutes went by, and when he opened his eyes back up, he felt refreshed and energized. Swinging his chair around to face his desk, Gohan continued with his work like it was any normal day. Hey, you guys know that joke from Futurama where it was a choose-your-own-adventure movie and Fry clicked on have Calculon actually go on for an adventure, but then the vote said, no, you picked having him do his taxes. No, I didn't. I'm pretty positive you did. That's what I'm feeling like right now. Does anybody really want to see the rest of Gohan's day of learning of his business deals, or... Yes! You people are lame, you know that? With little else happening, minutes quickly turned to hours, and before he knew it, it was time to go home. By now, he was a bit anxious to get back to see how his wife was doing. He knew Fidel had not been feeling well, and he even encouraged her to go to the doctors to see her illness continue. Even though he hadn't heard anything from her, which was typically a good sign, he still wondered how she was doing. Ideally, he would have to come back home after his meeting, but his boss mentioned he may want to talk with him afterwards at some point. This kept him chained to his office. As he gathered his belongings, he assumed that his boss must have been satisfied with his work, since he had not seen her the rest of the day. He was turning the key in his office door to lock it when he heard a voice from him coming from a few feet from him.
Son Gohan, can you step into my office for a minute?
His boss announced. Yes, of course, Nazawa-san. Masako Nazawa. Nice reference. I'll give you points for that. He stuttered. I was surprised at the timing. While making the short trip to his boss's office, his mind raced with anxiety. Uh-oh, this can't be good. I should have known something was wrong when he kept asking questions. Must have been there for an extra hour over my scheduled time. Probably was so foolish. Hopefully I'm not in too much trouble. You know, when Akira Toriyama said that Gohan didn't make for a good leading man, well, he said he couldn't do it as a writer. I think this is what he meant. I really do not care. As Gohan entered the office, his anxiety heightened. Sitting next to his boss were two other people from the business meeting he had made his presentation in. Two exceptionally important people in the company. How much trouble am I in? He thought to himself.
Son Gohan, you remember Toriyama-san and Kageyama-san?
Ms. Nazawa said as he motioned to the other two gentlemen. Of course, Gohan replied as they bowed to each other. Hello again.
Please sit.
Ms. Nazawa instructed, taking a seat herself. Gohan cautiously sat down in the chair opposite of her and the other two executives. He didn't quite know what to expect. Before he could speculate further, Ms. Nazawa spoke up again.
Gohan, after the meeting, the three of us sat down and had a chat.
There needs to be some more commas.
We were all very impressed with your presentation and work on the project.
Really? Gohan said, surprised, but he had to catch himself. Just a second ago, he was worried he thought the complete opposite.
Yes, so he continued. In fact, ever since the meeting, we've been talking about it, along with your future.
Future? He thought aloud. Mr. Toriyama took over. Your presentation today and the work you put forth was among the best that either Kageyama-san or myself have ever seen. Not only that, but you showed us how well you knew what you were talking about, and how well you handled stress, by the way you answered any question we threw at you. Gohan was in disbelief. He didn't know what to say. All he could muster was a simple thank you. Gohan, Kageyama joined in. As you know, never start any sentence with that. That just leads to pain. This company has locations all over the world, but our headquarters is located in North City, where some of the brightest minds in the industry come and work for us. We discussed it like you'd offer a job promotion at our main building there.
What business is Gohan working for? What scientific thing is he doing, presentation, business-wise? I kind of lost here. I mean, why isn't he working for Castle Corp? Pretty possible he has a job there.
Well, really? I mean, what about an interview? Gohan asked, stammering through his speech. And say he was surprised would be an understatement. The presentation you gave us today, along with all the questions we had, was your interview. Today you proved yourself to be very capable. You're exactly the person we were looking for. Toriyama said with great encouragement.
You should know, we three came up with this idea.
Mr. Nazawa redirected his attention.
You have a lot of potential, and this stop in North City is where some of your talents could do a lot of great things.
For the next hour, the four sat in the office, discussing the details of the job promotion and projects they wanted to get Gohan involved with. He also made sure to take the time to address all the questions he had. By the end of the meeting, he was not completely speechless. I don't know what to say, he proclaimed. Well, you think it over. There's no rush. Toriyama said as he stood up, followed by everyone else. Get some rest, discuss it with your family, and when you decide what you want to do, you can get in touch with us or your boss. He then let Gohan through the door. Thank you. Thank you so much. Gohan bowed his head and said his goodbyes. Night had descended.
Hi, Luna. Hello.
And the next thing Gohan knew, he was standing in front of the door to his house. He got home pretty late due to the day's events. Despite experiencing heavy traffic from his usually late departure, the trip home had seemed like a blur. Cars can fly! The entire time he had been going over this new proposition in his head, He'd been weighing the pros and cons. Well, he ended up frustrating himself because he knew no decision would be made until he could talk to Fidel first. He took a deep breath before he entered his home. This day had been so momentous for him. I had no idea how momentous it was about to get. Why is traffic even a thing, Gohan?
You have flying cars!
As he walked into his house, he saw Fidel, illuminated by a single light, on the couch reading a book. Hey, you're home late. Is everything okay? She asked as she sat up and motioned for him to sit beside her. Gohan laid his briefcase down and undid his tie as he sat next to her. He knew by this time his daughter was already in bed, sound asleep. Yeah, the boss and some people just requested to meet with me before I left. Well, before I talk about my day, how about you? Did you end up going to the doctor? Wait. Fidel said, sidestepping her husband's question. Your boss has some people requesting to meet with you? Who are these other people? What do they want? An executive from our company's headquarters who were at the meeting. Gohan tried his best to make it sound like it was no big deal. Fidel gasped, Gohan, what did they say? What happened? First was starting to show excitement as he could already predict what they discussed. Well, they said they liked the presentation. They really liked it. Gohan let out a smile, and we talked, and they said that I have a lot of potential. Before I can say anything else, keep in mind I haven't said yes to anything yet. I want to talk to you first. I realized it would be a big change and I want to be careful. Fidel got in the pace and cut him off. Come on, out with it. What did they say? They offered me a job promotion at the headquarters in North City. North City? Fidel was astonished. Gohan mistook her excitement for anger before they could even consider moving away. Fidel, don't worry, I haven't accepted anything yet. Well, you had to say yes. He looked at his wife puzzled. Gohan, some of the brightest minds that work in your field.
What is his field? Come on! What's he doing?
You've got to take this job. Fidel was so happy for her husband right now. For the second time today, Gohan was surprisingly shocked. He did not expect her to be this enthusiastic about it. You really think so? Of course, why not? Sia asked in return. Well, it's just that we have to move pretty far, and what about your job? You two can fly. If we move to North City, you two can fly. I could get a better job. You two can fly. It would be easier for Pan to go to school.
You two can fly.
You have to take this job. You have to tell them yes.
Flight. You have it. Stop worrying about moving and fly. My God. Did everybody forget that they could fly lately? Is this just a thing people forget they can do? God. Oh, don't tell me this is something people are forgetting they can do.
Let me guess.
This is another one of those fad things that people just got rid of. Like the talking animals bullshit. No! I don't care if this is a nitpick or if this is a rant. I do not like the fact that the game Dragon Ball Kakarot tried its best to retcon the whole talking animals thing with it was a fad with medicine. That is total bullshit and everybody knows it. The only reason why it's here is so that way we can properly explain. But it doesn't need an explanation. All we need to know is that Akira Toriyama fucked it up, completely forgot his characterizations, and forgot his world building, and move on. We don't need some, use a fad, and destroy some really good world building!
Alright, you convinced me. Gohan says he became a little overwhelmed with his wife's excitement. The two of them looked at each other in the dim light, taking in the moment. Don't worry, Fidel gave her husband a big hug. I love you, Gohan. I love you too, Fidel, he returned. A few seconds passed before Fidel broke the silence. Guess this works out anyway. We are probably going to need a bigger place.
I've seen your place at the end of Z. No, you don't.
Huh? Gohan pulled away from his wife, hugged to face his wife. What do you mean? Fidel smiled in a way he had not seen in a long time. His thoughts went to what she had done today. What did the doctor say? Is everything alright? He was getting anxious again.
As a matter of fact, why is moving a big thing, Gohan?
You live in a world where not only are there flying cars, you have the ability to fly, sense ki, and all the above, but everything you could possibly want, everything you need to put somewhere, from houses, to cars, to buildings, to motorcycles, to lunch pails, to freaking RVs, come in capsules. You know, capsule car. Kind of a big deal. Trunks lives there? You don't need to worry about moving. Hell, in Dragon Ball, you know what Mutant Roshi did when he needed to move? Beep! There! Capsule! And there's one thing I can't stand in a story is when you forget your world building. What? He asked, confused. Something told him not to question her, so he closed his eyes. Okay, they're closed. Videl pressed his hand close to her chest. Gohan sat there with his eyes closed as he felt Hidel's heartbeat. Then he noticed something different. Now with her heartbeat was her key. Possibly came across his face as he tried to figure out what his wife was getting to. What he was sensing was not something bad, rather something good. Videl smiled gently as he watched her husband's face twist in confusion, trying to figure out what he was feeling. So he then asked, how many keys do you sense? Concentrated hard for a moment. 2. Videl nodded. Gohan, I'm pregnant. I know I should sound more excited at this, but come on, everybody and their mother saw this coming.